and welcome back to the Old Greenbelt Theatre. We're excited to be back for the summer season, and we're excited to hear all about what is coming up in the next few weeks. So Caitlin, please tell us what we have to look forward to.
Yeah, thanks Phoebe. Thanks for being with us. It is that transition time of year, so there's a lot going on, and luckily it's also a good time for our regular films, not just our specialty programming. So we're really excited to be continuing Spider-Man this week.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a little bit different for us, but you know, sometimes when there's a sort of standout Marvel movie or Marvel adjacent movie, we'll bring it in.
Yeah, and that one sounds absolutely beautiful. Like,
yes.
just from watching the trailer, the animation once again just blows my mind.
Absolutely, yes. So we're keeping it in the main theater, so you can see it on the big, beautiful screen. So I think it's definitely one that you want to see in a theater if you can. Yeah. And then alongside that, in the screening room here, we are going to have Daliland, which is the new film with Ben Kingsley as Salvador Dali.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, and Ben Kingsley's so good in these kind of biopic roles. You know, he really can sort of transform himself. So it looks like if you're not into Spider-Man, then you've got another character that you can enjoy.
Yeah, I was not imagining Ben Kingsley as Salvador Dali, but
Yeah.
I'm sure he does a really good job with that.
Yeah, he's quite convincing from what I've seen.
Cool.
Yeah, and then next week we have the highly anticipated new Wes Anderson film, Asteroid City.
I can't wait for that one.
Yes, it is amazing how, and just from watching the trailer, like, how does he get everything so beautiful and pastel? But that's his forte.
Yeah.
You know, the set design is really remarkable, and it's just an outstanding cast. You know, he's just got famous name after famous name, doing a really extraordinary job, and some usual suspects like Scarlett Johansson, but then also Tom Hanks. So
yeah. And do you know anything about the plot line for that one?
yeah, I don't want to give too much away, but they are, it's a collection of families who have gifted children that are being celebrated, but then there's a kind of story within a story reveal that happens that should make it well worth it.
Cool. Yeah, I could not tell from the trailer
Yeah.
what was, and I guess that's probably part of the design.
Yeah, they want to hold some of it back. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and then after that, a very different film, Past Lives, which is about an Asian American woman and being caught between her American boyfriend, who's white, and her past best friend who comes over to sort of reconnect with her, and feeling torn between sort of her past life and her present life, and which one feels most right to her. And so it's a very sweet love story.
Yeah, it looked really kind of heart-wrenching watching the trailer. I mean, first of all, trying to pick between two beautiful men.
Right. Yeah.
But also, yeah, it looked like great acting, just like really convincing characters and a convincing story as well.
Right. Treating it in a nuanced, sensitive way, not in a sort of cookie cutter way. So I'm really looking forward to bringing that one, and they're doing a very slow rollout, and as they expand to more and more cities, it's still doing really well. So I think that folks will enjoy it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So those are all of the new movies that are coming up. Do you have any special series that you're doing over the summer?
We do. We are, as always, we do our Schools Out series. So that is every Thursday at 1 p.m. We have a free movie for kids and the young at heart. Just a good opportunity to take a break from the heat and have something to do. So our very first, what we did this year was we had our staff give us their favorite childhood films, and we booked those.
How cool.
Yeah, so the first one we have is Beauty and the Beast, and we now actually are able to show Disney films. We weren't able to do that before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we were showing first-run Disney films, and you had to choose old or new Disney.
Got it. So now you're no longer showing first run. Oh, great.
Yeah. But that means we can do...
You get some classics now.
Yeah, so that's why you'll see the summer series is full of Disney and Pixar. So Beauty and the Beast is first next Thursday on the 15th, and then the week after that, on the 22nd, is Spy Kids. So
oh, fantastic.
Yeah, and then
that's one of my favorites.
Right. There's some really nice throwbacks, and so it's our staff that are teenagers all the way to not teenagers, who made their picks. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then we are also doing a summer concert series And our first in that is Grateful Dead. So we have that on the 22nd and the 24th. And then there's a Ziggy Stardust and an Eric Clapton, and they'll roll on throughout the summer.
So these are just like filmed concerts?
Yes, some of them are more documentary, some of them are more concert. So, but there's a lot of music in them either way. So we thought it'd be a fun thing to do in the summer.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
So is that all for the special series?
Well, we actually have a partnership that we've done in the past, but this is the first time that we've expanded it public. So the Nepal American International Film Festival often rents from us to have private screenings, and this year we convinced them to open 2 of those to the public.
Wow.
So you get a chance to see a couple of Nepalese films that otherwise would not, get distribution. So
that's one of the coolest things about just film festivals in the area. There's very niche ones. There's very like things that you would never think to that would be a film festival in this area.
That's right. Yeah, to seek out how would I know where to go to see a Nepalese film.
Yeah.
But some of their films are at the AFI, and they're having 2 days with us and 2 films on the 23rd and the 24th, matinees of 2 picks that they thought would be good to share with the general public.
That's super cool.
Yeah, so we're really looking forward to that. And then the other series that we have, of course, is our Monday matinees, and that next film is Easter Parade, starring Fred Astaire and Judy Garland.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's a really beautiful pairing to see them together, 2 stars, kind of at the peak of their careers.
Yeah. I assume lots of singing, dancing.
Exactly, yeah, and it's just very beautifully rendered, like the costumes are amazing and all of that. So it's Judy Garland, in some ways in kind of a peak of her performance.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So are there any more of the special series?
That's it for the specialty series. We have 2 workshops. So one is our Let's Make a Movie workshop for kids. This time it's Let's Make a Movie Soundtrack.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it's for kids 9 to 12, and that is on the 25th of June from 10 to 1 p.m. Registration is required, but it's an opportunity for kids to work with an experimental film and come up with a soundtrack to go along with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what kind of instruments or devices are they using for that?
So it's really cool. Andrew Simpson is a composer and a professor at Catholic University, and he's done another workshop with us, and he uses both found objects and traditional instruments.
Wow.
Yeah, so the kids are banging on bottles and playing with bits of metal, but also they can bring their own instruments. The last time my son participated, he brought his trombone, and that was really useful for one part. Yeah, so it's really a great way for kids to experiment with their own creativity and thinking about, in particular for this workshop, we want them to use the same piece of film and try and make it sound happy, and then see if they can make it sound sad. Is it exciting? Is it scary? To just show how movie soundtracks really influence the way that, it really works in concert with the image on the screen, that the music is the thing that tells you when to laugh or to cry or to be happy.
Oh, that's a fantastic idea for a workshop. I really like that.
Yeah, and we thought it was a nice way, again, just to get kids to be creative and be producers of media, not just consumers as they so often are.
Yeah.
So that's just another way that we get them to, and the wonderful thing with kids is they don't need much prompting to do something really wild and out of the box and creative. So I'm really excited to see what they come up with.
Wow, that's great. So that's one workshop, and is there another one?
Yes, so our Cinema Classics lecture series is continuing, and this is where we take a classic film or a film that is renowned and usually in the top 100, and we break it down even more than we can when we just have a guest speaker, a Q&A. Mm-hmm. So this time I'll be leading it. I give an introduction to the film. I talk about the backstory, the history. Agnes Varda is the director. Cleo from 5 to 7 is the film that we'll be doing. And then we watch the film together here in the screening room, and then we have a discussion afterwards, usually for about 45 minutes or an hour, where we really dig into, okay, what did we see in the film and what stuck out to certain people, or what are questions that were raised, or how do we think this fits into other films of the era or other films that she's made. And it's really wonderful, and registration is required for that one as well. But it's a really, if you're interested in film history, if you want to learn more about a film that you don't know anything about, or if you have seen this film and you love it and you want to find out more, it's a really great opportunity.
Yeah, that's one I've been really meaning to watch because I just, you know, a female director from so long ago too. It's very rare.
It is, yes. The French New Wave tends to be dominated by men, but this one is really extraordinary. And you really see it reflected in the story too. It's a really beautiful film where you see Cleo go through a kind of transformation that I think you can only get with a woman behind the camera.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like there's a lot to look forward to.
Yes, yes, and we're so glad to get to tell people about it, and hopefully they'll come out and see it for themselves.
Well, thank you so much, Caitlin.
Thanks, Phoebe.
And thank you all for watching.